Welcome back, race boat lifers. Both of you. It's time to finish up this project. We got some loose ends to tie up. We got some testing to do. And maybe try to put this fuel pump nightmare behind us. There is always something else to do. We're again going to start with the front motor because once again they're calling for showers later on this afternoon. That way at least we'll have the front half closed up when it's finished up, and we'll be able to work on the back half. And if it does rain, it's a lot easier to close the boat up in a hurry. So yay. So we're back again. Yay. I know I keep saying that, but man, I'm telling you, I'm sore from the last episode. Those pumps really put hurting on me, that's for sure. To refresh everyone's memory, we made our new fuel line. Here we are, all the way up. And it's right here. Now we just gotta make some final connections. We'll put our final clamp protector back on. Plug in our PCV valve. I think we're done. New lines, new clamps, new filter, new clamps, new line all the way back to the gas tank. We do think we're going to tie them together still, just to stop the bounce, even if it's just a suspended kind of thing. If anybody's got an idea about what we could do about this, there's really no place to put a bracket. I mean, we could on a valve cover, I guess. But for now, we're just going to have to go with a tried and tested zip ties here. A couple of these guys will hold it in place and not let it bounce on the intake, and actually keeps it suspended. So even though it's a cool intake, I mean, this is room temperature when it's running. No reason for it to bounce on it. So I got to figure out a permanent solution, but that'll work for now. And there's no glass to break, so if it does actually hit, I don't think it'll be the end of the world. Off to the rear motor. And I'm sure you can hear our battery charger humming in the background. We read up a lot of things on those red top batteries last night and how they're constructed and what they do. We're kind of surprised they're still alive. After about 2009, which they were made in 2007, they got a hugely bad reputation for making inferior products. But people swear by the earlier ones. I don't know if they'd swear by ones that were like 12 years old, but they should have never came back. And yet they are. It's amazing, and it just says something about quality work sometimes, you know. I'd rather buy one thing quality and spend a little extra on it and have it last 10 years than to buy something cheap and have to replace it year after year after year. So here's still holding out hope that these batteries are 100% fine. I just ordered a battery tester, a load tester, something that will be new in my repertoire for a whopping 20-some dollars. I'm going to load test them both to make sure they can actually, they're just not faking it under a battery charge. So, alright, let's go to the rear motor. But like we said, we got rain moving in, so we're going to close the front end up real quick. So now, alright, stay up there for a second. Solid poles. Didn't want the, either way, when you're at sea, they lock. Like always, 30% chance of rain today. Alright, with that, this motor also has new lines all the way from the fuel pump to the carburetor. We're going to zip tie those guys up. So, I hope you're up for the job. Oh, that does remind us. We want to change those clamps, those first clamps on the water separators. They're some reason they allow the hose to spin. I know it's probably not a big deal, but it's not a good deal for us right now, so we're going to go ahead and put two smaller clamps on there. That way it'll suck it dry. We don't want it to suck up any air. It's really the million-dollar answer. I'm really not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but this is part of our old fuel line. And as you can see, the outside is perfectly fine. But if you look here, see that white streak there? That's actually the thread showing. So it literally, this is the motor we saw in the video that leaked. And you can probably see why now. It ran well past the actual clamp and the fitting it went over. So it just leaked right up the side. Amazing. Now these things are a lifesaver in this boat. Let me get my socket. Mr. Socket. That just saved me about a scratch or two. So we just got back from Home Depot. So this is the deal. We have our fittings, and they're those. They're 3/8. And of course we're replacing everything with 1/2 inch. And our hose isn't fitting on, it's too loose. I mean, it's just, the hose clamp is not actually getting a good bite on it. So we went to the depot, and the only thing we could really come up with, because they don't make actually a 3/8 to 3/8 fitting. If it was 3/8, it would be fine. I mean, we're talking about a 1/16 here. I don't see a problem with that. But of course they don't. Everything's got to be 3/8 to 1/4 inch, and you know, everything's just going to restrict. So what we did is we went to Depot and we got ourselves a nice little brass piece of basically pipe. It's 3 inches long. We're going to cut this dog. We're going to cut this dog in half and make a fitting out of it. And as you can see, that is quite a lot larger than this. So I'm going to go ahead and get out my cutoff wheel and get this made up. Let me say first, we have our dust protection on. But this is not going to be OSHA approved by a long shot. Before we cut the tube in half, we're going to put a few notches on it. Even though this is on the vacuum side and not the pressure side, it should never want to push off. We want to just give something for the hose to bite onto instead of just this nice smooth side of the pipe. So here we go. See, nothing real big, just
some little notches, something to make sure it doesn't slide off when it's not supposed to. Like I said, it's on the vacuum side, so it shouldn't slide off anyway. But make it safe, make it safe, make it safe. Now we have two fittings. Just gotta clean up the ends. So now over at our table grinder, we're gonna round some ends over. We'd like to put something inside of it and just let it rotate on the actual disc itself. Makes it a lot easier than trying to around. Just let it spin. If it's not spinning as fast as the thing, the disc itself, it's actually taking material off. As you can see, there's still a lot of stuff inside. So you want to get that out of there. I mean, look at that. That broke off inside the fuel filter or made it into the fuel pump somehow, it would destroy it. So we're going to stick it in our vise ever so gently so we don't hurt nothing. It's still extremely hot. Give it a nice little snug. Take our round rasp here file. Still got to be cleaned out, but it does look a whole lot better. Number two. Ow, 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 ow. Try that again. Number two. Alright, so we have our fittings made up, and as you can see, that's a whole lot bigger than that one. We made sure we rasped it out, like I said, and then we ran a cloth through it quite a few times. Make sure we know there was no snags or nothing, because like I said, we don't want any brass particles floating into our fuel pump. As small as they are, they may actually make it past the screen, which that would be horrible. So we're going to get some tape on them and go get something installed. Lost the clamp aid. Alright, since this guy don't have actually a nut fitting on the end, we're just going to use our little handy dandy mini pipe wrench here. Little baby. Well, I know how things get out of hand. It starts with this. So we replaced our fitting on this side, and we're thinking, we shall probably replace it on this side also. But even though this line is newer than what we were dealing with before, it's still a little old. So then we're thinking, okay, well, we'll just replace it also. And we might as well, because this is one of those fittings I just made. I remember making this now. So that's a nice wide fitting. Comes through the tank at about the same size. Does the 7/16 hose all the way down. And guess where the only last choke point is? Is that one. So even though we don't have another pipe here, we do have the other fitting we just made for the other side. And while we were at it, we might as well do it. So this is how things get out of hand. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get it freed up here. That way when we do take it off the fitting, it decides the siphon, we'll be able to pick it up over top the gas tank real quick. Make it drain back. I believe it's free. except it is behind the actual steering. This one's actually pretty flexible still. Like I said, this is newer than the older. So it may work, but we've got brand new sitting here, so why not? So we're going to take this guy out. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Now we have our oversized monster. This should be the last of the restrictions. Anywhere in the whole fuel line, all the way up until the carburetor itself. Mini pipe wrench. And there we are. Oversized fitting and regular all-American water separator there. What's that thunder I just heard in the background as I stand on this aluminum ladder? Gotta be a little nervous around here. Our property is less than an acre and we've been hit 3 or 4 times in the last 10 years. As a matter of fact, as I look right off from the north of the bow of the boat, you go about 200 yards behind the tree line there and there's a park, and in the park they have a fishing pier, and sadly graphite fishing poles make excellent lightning rods, and a gentleman was killed over there 2 years ago. Yeah, we're not kidding either about the lightning strikes. That tree right there had the top blown off of it. We have a missing tree in the woods here. It was about 70 or 80 feet tall. It got split down the middle. We have an oak tree out on the front street here, or on the back street, and one of the limbs got knocked off of it. This tree over here used to have a mate, and it got blown over. And the one at the end of the driveway is a neat story. I was actually out on the 19, and I went down to the boat ramp, or I came to the boat ramp from the water, loaded up, and one of the neighbors noticed that the tree right over top of the boat ramp got hit by lightning. And the last time they saw it, I was there. I missed that. So I came around and I came down this street here out front with the boat, and I'm about, I don't know, 50, 60 yards up the street here, and lightning hits that tree out front and drops it right in the front street. It has been the most insane thing down here about lightning. But that's just a side note on down here at Cape Fear. So when we start seeing lightning, I like to jump under my Verdi cage over here, which is my motor stand. It's made out of aluminum and steel, and it's grounded right to the ground, so it still doesn't mean you won't get hit. But, all right, here we are. We got our new fuel line in. We've run it all the way through here. We've got everything zip tied in. As I said, our wiring harness of choice. This is our guard from our old line that we put on here just because it fits in place, and it's already been snagged down and works real well. And as you can see, we have our new fitting here. Well, not new, but this is a fitting we put in when we put the gas tanks in. And basically, like I said, that one down there was the choke point of everything at that point after we changed the ones on the other side. We also cleaned this up a little bit. Yes, it was a mess. We repainted, we scrubbed up some stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and get this line in. Just had a little bit of bald freedom flying up there. Kind of like me now. It's summertime. That stuff's too hot for this time of year. Alrighty, we got our new lines in. Wahoo! There's no restriction from A to B, meaning A and B is a carburetor. 1/2 inch everything all the way through, 7/16 lines. There should be no choke points. Now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do about the other one with no fittings. It's time to go look through my fitting drawer. Okay, after a search through our fittings drawer, we came up with 2 of these candidates. They're not pipe entirely, they're a little threaded up here, so we're just gonna knock the thread off on our grinder, pretty much most of it, and leave some so it actually has something to grab a hold of on both. But instead of sitting in my drawer, I think I'll save myself a couple bucks. Just knock these guys off. Okay, now that I retrieved my fitting from behind my compressor here, let's go back to it. That should do it. Since they're already deburred on the inside, since we didn't cut them. Maybe we'll go over them real quick, but they're about ready to install. So, even though the sun is out, and it looks like it's going to pass, I'm not standing on an aluminum ladder around power cords during a lightning storm around here. So, we'll just let it pass. Hey lifers, we're back. Looks like it's calmed down for a minute, but yet here they're calling for more rain tonight, thunderstorms, and some hail. That's a new one. We haven't had some hail in, I don't know, been a month or so. Yeah. Hail would be interesting. Hopefully all our windows and such will make it out. But so we're back to wash, rinse, and repeat once again with twin motors. You got to do everything twice, including 2 gas tanks, 2 fuel pumps, fuel pressure regulators, 2. So get this done before it gets dark because it's already starting to get there. And with this final snip, and I lost it. Oh man. Why isn't that the way it goes? Hey, with that final snip, we're done. Fuel system number 2 complete all the way to the gas tank. Now we just got to clean up. So we have our pile of leftovers. Expensive leftovers. Well, at least we do get to come over here and look at our book. We're only going to put one more X next to the fuel filters, the fuel pumps, and the fuel lines. That way, we got two X's. That means we're pretty well done. But the third X will come after we test everything and make sure it doesn't leak. When we can walk away from the job, that's when we're going to put our third X there, and we're done. But the bulwark is over. Yahoo! Now I just got to clean up this mess. Pumps are still good. No reason to throw them away. Filters are perfect. And they just don't belong in this system. And if they leaked under 6 pounds, could you imagine what they would leak under 12, 14, 16 pounds? Shoo! They would have squirted off like a fountain at Las Vegas. So, we put our final clamp protector on. That worked well. So, we'll put our final clamp protector on. Damn it, there's two. So, ow, that's a little hot. Ow, ow, ow. So, as you can see, again, damn it. Okay, we're back to wash, rinse, and repeat once again. Everything with twice with these motors. Let's do that part again. Okay. Let's pause.